Hello and welcome to DayTripper. My name's Wayne. Hope I can get my words out. Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. And this is the very first DayTripper show. And there's also going to be very much a preview to give you a rough idea what to expect in the first series of DayTripper. And depending on how well or how well not they are received by people like yourself will depend on whether we do another series later on. Now, it's not always going to be me doing the shows. They will also feature Carrie, and Carrie will either do a show on her own, or it might be Carrie and myself, and that's all to be worked out in a moment. And we're going to be focusing on the theme of buses, journeys and more, which is, talking about, places to visit, ways of saving money when we find them, ways of saving money on public transport. And even if we're not talking about a particular area that you live in, chances are there's going to be a very similar, like, saver's ticket or such, like, wherever you are in the world. And if we can save a few pennies, face it, in this day and age, nothing wrong with that at all. Also, on various different shows, we're going to have guests. Now, we're going to be talking conventions on one of the shows, and to do that, we're going to bring on the show Grant Collins. Now, Grant goes to conventions like movie, TV, sci-fi conventions, toy conventions. And I must admit, I've not got round to going to any of these conventions yet. And Grant goes to them, and he's met an actor called Shane Rimmer. Now, Shane Rimmer played the part of, now I don't know how many James Bond movies he did this in, but I think the character name was Felix. Like a very similar sort of, I think he was an FBI agent or something along those lines, some sort of American Secret Service thing. And but I knew of Shane Rimmer more as a character voice actor of a British children's puppet series called Thunderbirds. And I must admit, I'm a little bit envious because I didn't get the chance to meet Shane Rimmer, but I'm so pleased that Grant did, and I know Grant got his autograph. And I believe he also met some of the cast from the British sci-fi comedy TV show Red Dwarf. So I'm looking forward to talking to Grant about how these conventions work when you're there, and also obviously about times where he's met some famous people. Now, on a different show, and not really linking to the previous one, but there is a James Bond link here in the sense of we're talking about Richard Kiel. Now, Richard Kiel played the part of, to me, one of the best James Bond villains, Jaws. And to talk about this, we're going to bring on the show Steve and Julie, who met Richard Kiel. And there's this wonderful photograph of Steve and Richard Kiel. And again, I'm so envious because I would have loved to have met him. And I keep being envious about people that have gone out and done these things. And, what was I doing? Asleep or something? I need to wake up, I think. Get out there more. But I'm really pleased that Steve and Julie got to meet him. And I look forward to talking to them about that experience. We're also going to be talking on a different show about a continuing, well, I could say nostalgia, but I think it's beyond that now, because we're going to talk about the style of music they call rock and roll, rockabilly. And to do this, we're going to bring on a rock and roll fan who's also a musician, plays the bass, is a singer. John Ozam is going to be joining us on that show, talking about the continuing, why rock and roll, rockabilly music is still famous, still popular even, with so many different generations of rock and roll fans. There's still new rock and roll bands that come together all over the world. I know I know John has been to so many different rock and roll concerts. He's been to the rock and roll clubs. He's gone to America. I believe he went to Graceland because he's a huge Elvis fan. I know he went to Sun Studios, and so I'm really looking forward to talking to John about why that style of music is still so popular with, again, so many different generations of this day. And John wasn't around back in the 50s, so he picked it up later on as well. So fantastic stuff. We're also going to be talking about a particular disability. Now, I'm going to be a little bit cagey about what disability it is, because until I get all the pieces together, I don't want to say, oh yes, we're going to do this, because I really want to say, right, all the things I've just mentioned now, yes, these shows are going to happen. But I don't want to say, oh, I'm going to do something which is hopefully going to be very helpful to people with this particular disability. And again, continuing the theme of the YouTube channel, Buses, Journeys and More, about getting out and about and things to do. We want something to do for this people with suffering from this particular disability, what could be really helpful for them. And to do this, I'm going to bring on two people that work with people with this condition. So that's the reason I'm being a bit cagey about saying, yeah, this is going to happen yet, because I just want to make sure it's going to happen first. So there you go. That's the plan. The shows themselves will probably be anything between 10 minutes and 10, 20 minutes long, depending very much on how the shows go, in the sense of, if it's a really interesting conversation, lots of banter and talking and about what that experience was comes about, and then I'm not going to say, oh, it's always got to finish on 20 minutes or whatever. We will wait and see what happens. So hope you're going to enjoy these shows. Hope we're going to be informative and entertaining for you. And if you like to help us, support us by, if you haven't already, hitting that notification and subscribing to the Buses, Journeys and More YouTube channel, and that will help us marvelous. Anyway, I'll leave it as that for now before I keep yapping on for too long. So anyway, thanks very much for taking the time and interest in listening as far as you have. It is really appreciated, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.